So I was watching this show the other day. Starts off with fantasy world. Protagonist is the worst class possible. You have all the heroes in this world, and they're all looking down upon him because he's the worst class. And so they pretty much exile him. They pretty much kick him out. These heroes are absolute jerks. But it's okay because this guy sets out on his own journey. He ends up coming across this animal girl. He ends up making a pact with this animal girl, linking them together. There's a lot of themes about, being stuck in darkness, not feeling like you're worth anything, but then having this cute animal girl pulling you out of that. And man, the OP is great. It's by Mad Kid. Really excellent OP. You've heard of it, right? No, not Shield Hero. No, this is not Rising the Shield Hero. It's Beast Tamer. Yeah, Beast Tamer, a new anime in the fall 2022 anime season. I just got done with the third episode of the series, and this is my thoughts on the series so far. Beast Tamer opens up with a guy named Ryan Shroud. Like I said earlier, he's a Beast Tamer, which is seen as like the worst class possible. Most parties don't really want you in their party. All they can really do is just tame random animals. Well, he's actually in the heroes party, and they go out on adventures, and Ryan's usually there to kind of, tame animals, to carry all their luggage, and he sends out animals to do a lot of scouting ahead. Well, at some point, we cut to him being in front of the heroes party in this one room, and all of the members are looking down upon him like he's scum, and they're saying, dude, you're just a waste of space. We have to spend so much time trying to protect you. You can't even fight on your own. You're not giving us any worth. You're useless. So we're going to kick you out. Oh, by the way, leave all of your equipment behind because we got that for you. So that's our stuff. Well, Ryan accepts this. He puts all of his equipment down. The entire time they're just giggling and laughing about him, and he walks out. Well, following this, you kind of get a sense from some of the villagers in the area that they really like Ryan. The children, they love him. All the shop owners, they don't like the heroes party because they're a bunch of jerks. He's realizing really quickly that, yeah, he used to have trouble buying stuff at the shops because they all hated the heroes party. But Ryan, he's different. Everybody actually likes him. Well, after a conversation with some kids, he realized, you know what? I can become an adventurer. My life's not over. I have an opportunity here. I could become an adventurer. So he goes in the adventure guild, gets the lowdown on how it works. Yes, the typical ranking system, do quests, raise up in the ranking system, get better quests, more money, blah, blah, blah. And once the guild lady realizes he's a beast tamer, she's kind of like, are you sure you want to be an adventurer? It's very difficult stuff. But he's like, that's fine. Let me have my exam. He goes out to the exam, which is take out a bunch of goblins and to acquire some different herbs in the area, which he's doing pretty well. And then suddenly he hears a scream nearby, and he goes to check it out, and he finds this girl named Kanade, who is a cat spirit. And she's being attacked by this big tiger. Ryan tries to help her, obviously knowing that this is like a little bit fruitless because he's not strong. But then Kanade does this one last attack and knocks the thing out. And then we come to find out she's only in trouble because she's really hungry, so he feeds her. And what kind of follows this is Kanade and Ryan have a little conversation where he kind of divulges everything that he just went through, being kicked out of the heroes party and everything. He's not really sure why he feels so comfortable with Kanade, but he just kind of divulges everything. Everything he's kind of been holding in. And in return, Kanade says, "What? You're amazing. You're not a weakling." Like, she sees something in him. She said, at the first time we met, I felt something. I sensed something. You're a special type of beast tamer. See, Kanade is actually a cat spirit, one of what they call the ultimate species. But specifically of the ultimate species, the cat spirits are the most rarest. Nobody's ever seen them. And you kind of figure out why, because she just came from their hidden village. They have a village that's up in the mountains, and she decided one day that she wanted to go out and adventure. But specifically, she points out that there's some beast tamers out there that are so powerful that they can actually tame ultimate species. And she feels like Ryan Shroud is one of those. So she's like, give it a shot. And Ryan's like, if you're okay with that, sure, I can try. And sure enough, he does it, and it works. And that starts our adventures, Ryan going out with Kanade, and they do different jobs with the Adventure Guild, obviously catching the attention of certain people that he has this cat spirit with him, but quickly kind of dispatching the situation. We come to find out that whenever he made a pact with Kanade, he actually shares her stats. So he's become really powerful. And this leads to them stumbling upon this one carriage that was going through this area that was attacked by this big group of bandits. Ryan, kind of shows up, and the both of them take out all the bad guys, kind of find out they're part of a bigger group, so they decide, let's go take out the whole group, otherwise they're going to chase us down. And they take them down, and they get praised for it. In the following episode, we get this guard dog of the Stride Bridge, which is this one quest to take out this unknown person that is on this bridge, keeping people from being able to cross it from one continent to another. And Ryan goes there, and they end up finding out that it's, of course, a dragonkin spirit, so he does some trick to poison her and knock her out, and then eventually she says, hey, tame me too. And then now he's got two girls that are constantly fighting over each other to get to Ryan. And all the while we have this journey of Ryan, we're discovering that the hero party over here is struggling. They just lost their scout. They lost the person that's carrying their goods. They're finally realizing that he's kind of special because they've had tamers since Ryan, and they can't do what Ryan was able to do. See, tamers normally are only able to tame one creature at a time, whereas Ryan was taming multiples, even hundreds. And so when they have these other tamers in their party and they're like, what are you talking about? You can only tame one at a time. They're confused. We also find out they were supposed to be escorting this carriage that got attacked by the bandits, and they fled because they thought it wasn't worth even trying to protect them. And all leads up to the end of the third episode where we finally have the main lead of the hero party's like, shoot, if we're having so much trouble, let's just go hire Ryan again. And then once we're done with this lost forest, we'll just kick him out again. So my thoughts on Beast Tamer. I'm mixed on this show so far. It really is one of those shows where it's got a cool concept in there, and I obviously am drawn by the animal girls. It's pretty much the original reason why I was drawn. The moment I seen Kanade in the PV, I'm like, okay, I'm watching this show. Like, no matter if it sucks or not, Kanade looks super cute. I'm going to be watching this show. Give me more cat girls. I'm perfectly happy with that. But I can't help but feel like the moment I watched the OP for this series to go, it almost feels like this show is trying to be Shield Hero, but it's not. And it almost feels like the producers behind it, in selecting how they portray the OP, they're trying to capture the Shield Hero audience, obviously. The OP screams, watch this if you like Shield Hero. This is literally Shield Hero. But I don't feel like it is. Yes, Kanade feels very much so like Raphtalia. And they're already hinting in the third episode that it's going to have a certain topic about rejection from this hero party, feeling like you're less adequate, and then somebody pulling you out of that darkness. Kanade feels that Ryan is hiding what he really feels. That he's upset about what happened, but he won't say it. He's keeping it bottled up. And so she just wants to see him happy. We get a sense that she didn't just willy-nilly say, hey, tame me, which was kind of funny and out of context. Try to tame me. She felt like Ryan was different than any other human. In Kanade's journeys alone, since she's a cat spirit, she had so many humans that just immediately came after her. They chased after her. They tracked her down. They wanted to use her because she's powerful and she's very rare. They wanted money, they wanted goods, they wanted success, strength. But Ryan was different. He never asked anything of Kanade. He helped her and he had a good heart. So that's why she felt like she wanted to help him and help him make his dreams come true. Because again, she feels like he's trying to keep it bottled up. But unlike Shield Hero, we don't have a protagonist here that just completely hates everybody. He's just like, wow, they think I'm useless. I'm obviously useless. All right, well, I'll just become a venturer. And then he's just doing his own thing. It's not like I want to get revenge and everybody else is scum and I'm going to show them all. He's just existing. Plus, it's not an isekai, at least as we know of yet. But I will admit the aspect of the hero's party is probably the only interesting thing about this show. Unlike Rising of the Shield Hero, where the heroes are the only uninteresting thing of that show because they're just scum and they just waste of space. Every time they're on the screen, I'm like, I don't care. With this one, I'm kind of interested to see how these two stories will eventually bump into each other. Obviously, now that he's got both Kanade and Tanya, and they're super powerful, I doubt they're going to talk him into becoming a part of the party. He's probably going to do it just to help his old party, and they're probably going to realize how OP he is, but they probably won't accept that he's really strong. The main lead has a super massive ego. But honestly, with the whole situation with the escort, them ditching the escort, it made me feel like this show could possibly get a little dark because the mage in the hero's party was talking about taking out their current tamer and having the healer revive him over and over again just to threaten him to take blame for losing the cargo. So I don't know how dark this show is going to be willing to get. So far, it's super fluffy, it's super cutesy, it's super let's have fun out and venture. And yes, extremely convenient that this guy is running into the rarest of breeds of the spirits, and then yes, oh yeah, by the way, here's a dragon that's massively OP, and oh, by the way, when you tame them, you become super OP, and oh, by the way, the OP shows we're gonna run into, fairies and other stuff. It's very convenient, it's exiled by the hero's party and gains supermassive harem. But again, it's a very unique concept in the idea that it is a tamer, and a lot of the ways that he handles situations is using different insects and birds and animals of the area to handle his problem. When you have a massively OP dragon girl, how do you take her down? You send birds that can carry some sort of poison to paralyze her. If you have a huge, massive cave of bandits, you send in a bunch of bees or hornets that are able to paralyze them with their sting. You don't just come in there and punch everything, which he technically can do, which is honestly the only thing that was a little bit let down in this series. When I came into it, I was expecting it to be, okay, he's going to tame all these really OP girls, and they're going to be the ones that he sends into battle that take out everything. But honestly, what it turns into is Ryan shares their stats, sends them to the wayside, and rushes in and punches everything. It's not fun, and unfortunately, it's like one of those things of he's not utilizing them. Now, granted, that changed a little bit with episode 3. It really did feel like he was utilizing Kanade to stall while he figured out the situation, but it's kind of a letdown in that regard. And Kanade kind of expresses it. She's like mad that he won't use her. It's fine. It's got a lot of fun in there. I really love Kanade. She's super cute. Tanya's introduction was great as well. It's not really doing anything special, except for, like I said, the whole thing with the Heroes Party. I'm kind of curious to see what happens when the Heroes Party comes back to Ryan, what he'll do. Again, he's probably going to accept to help them, and they're going to see how OP he is, and they're probably not going to accept it, but I'm still interested to see how that turns out. But overall, it's kind of it feels very much like an isekai, but it's doing enough so far that I am entertained. And the animation is actually surprisingly okay. Like, they had the fight scene with Tanya. There's a couple of the shots where the characters jump over and it pans around. It looked a little awkward, but at least you have some decent animation happen here. But anyhow, that's my first impressions of the Rising of the Beast Tamer. We'll call it the Rising of the Beast Tamer. Maybe I'll put that on my thumbnail. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, if you did, make sure to that like button down below. Comment. Let me know what you thought of this series if you're going to be checking it out. Additionally, if you're new to the channel, make sure to that subscribe button so you get all my content. I do news, reviews, first impressions, top list. If it's anime, it's pretty much here. Additionally, if you want to support the channel more, we have a Patreon link, a tips link, and a super thanks button down below. I greatly appreciate everybody that considers. A special shout out to Seth, who just became a Patreon supporter. I greatly appreciate the support, and y'all take care.